We're back with another edition of Lamb School Noticings, coming to you from the Brian Lamb School of Communication in the College of Liberal Arts at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. I'm Mary Fran Matson, professor and interim head of the Lamb School and your host for Lamb School Noticings. We have great stuff to share this week, so let's get to it. In news about our graduate students and faculty, the Organizational Communication Mini-Conference recently occurred at the University of Illinois, and the Lamb School was well represented. The Organizational Communication Mini-Conference is organized for and run by organizational communication graduate students. The purpose of this conference is to create a supportive environment where PhD students can get feedback on their dissertation projects as they near the completion of their degrees. It's also held to foster networking opportunities and exchange ideas among new and veteran OrgComm scholars. Professor Patrice Buzzanel participated in a faculty panel titled My Single Best Piece of Advice for Graduate Students. Professor Sung-Young Lee also participated in the conference. 5 of our graduate students presented papers or posters of their research, including Lindsay Anderson, Kristin Hatten, Raul Rastogi, Siobhan Shorter, and Lilia Yakova. Kristin and Siobhan are here to tell us about their experience at the conference.
My name is Kristin Hatten, and I'm a doctoral candidate here in the Brian Lamb School of Communication. And my major is communication, organizing processes, and chronic illness. The goal of the conference is to allow a forum for doctoral students to present their dissertation research. And most students in this situation are either collecting data, have collected some preliminary data, or are just about to collect data. So this is a critical point in the dissertation process, and this allows students to get some feedback that might change the direction of their project or help them improve their project. So my dissertation project focuses on young adults with diabetes and their interactions with the healthcare system. So the impetus for this project is looking at the healthcare delivery to young adults with diabetes. And I found that most materials are targeted towards young children and their parents, who are the stereotypical type 1 diabetes population, or the elderly, who are the stereotypical type 2 diabetic population. But there's this huge gap when addressing young adults within the healthcare system. So I'm thinking that young adults face a lot of challenges that other populations do not. Starting careers, starting families, going to college for the first time, and to deal with the diagnosis of diabetes on top of all this new independence and freedom is something that needs to be addressed by healthcare providers. So I'm interested in teasing out the systemic aspects of a chronic care model to more clearly understand how young adult diabetics and their providers communicate. And I got some great feedback on my presentation from other doctoral students and from some faculty, which was great. I have attended OCMC before, my first year as a master's student, and then again when it was at Purdue a couple years ago. But I had never been in the position of being a doctoral candidate at OCMC. So it was really interesting to hear what other people in the field and in my position were working on, and to network with people who had similar interests to my own.
My name is Siobhan Shorter. Currently, I'm a doctoral candidate in organizational communication in the Brian Lamb School of Communication here at Purdue University. During the conference, I was very humbled to have the opportunity to present my poster. And so my poster was on my dissertation, the first half, which is my prospectus. And my dissertation engages Black students and their understandings of the academic pipeline. So what I found is that 43% of Black students graduate from college, but as they go through the academic pipeline, only 5% of Black students make it to the academic professor position. And so I'm wondering what's happening there. So my goal is to interview Black students who are in the freshman and sophomore years, because this is a critical drop-off point in the pipeline when students don't continue on. So 43% graduate from college, but then only 12.4% make it on to graduate school. And so I'm gonna ask them about their understandings of the pipeline. The literature would have us understand that vocational anticipatory socialization says that all of us as young people receive messages about potential careers, but these problems within the pipeline would say otherwise. And so I want to critique this process, looking at it from a race, class, and gender perspective. So I'm hoping to get very interesting answers from these students once I collect my data very soon. I think it's going to benefit greatly the academic environment because hopefully this will lay some of the groundwork to getting more students, Black students, and hopefully more minority students into graduate school overall. So if I can see what their understandings are, maybe I can start to provide some mechanisms to encourage students to go to graduate school, because I myself did not know about graduate school until I was an undergraduate student. And even then I was a bit resistant to going to graduate school because I didn't know about it at all. So I'm hoping that this preliminary research will provide a way for me to encourage more students to attain higher education. The conference was wonderful. Kristin had an excellent presentation. We had the opportunity to attend each other's poster presentations, and I would encourage all students who have the opportunity to go next year.
Professor Siobhan Shorter is back in our news this week. Professor Shorter organized a workshop focusing on understanding knowledge, trust, and credibility in social media. This workshop was made possible by an NSF-funded CredibleNet project that Professor Shorter is collaborating on with Purdue colleagues in computer science and statistics. Jeremy Foote, one of our graduate students, also participated in the workshop. The workshop was co-sponsored by Purdue University's Discovery Park Cyber Center, Stanford University's Media X Center, and the Social Media Research Foundation. Siobhan recently talked about this workshop and another project he's involved in.
The CredibleNet workshop at Stanford University is part of a series of workshops organized by the CredibleNet project, which is a National Science Foundation funded project, which was started about a year ago in collaboration with colleagues from computer science, Elisa Bertino more specifically. She is also the head of the Cyber Center, and Michael Zhu and Chuan Hai Lu. Its main goal is to set up a new research agenda for understanding social media, specifically how people collaborate on social media, how certain users become leaders, and how their leadership positions influence the process of knowledge management and generation on social media. We're particularly interested in knowledge generation social media, such as Wikipedia or Facebook or Twitter or other sites like Quora that focus on knowledge, or to the degree to which they focus on knowledge. This particular workshop will bring together practitioners and academics trying to see or to discover which academic approaches could be turned into practical advice for practitioners. We have invited research scientists from Google, from Facebook, and from a number of social media monitoring companies in Silicon Valley. That's why we organized the workshop in Silicon Valley. And also researchers, especially our partners in California, the Media X unit at Stanford University. In effect, this workshop is very important to be said, is a collaboration, is co-sponsored by Media X and by the CredibleNet project at the Cyber Center. It is hosted at Stanford as a Stanford project, but it is co-sponsored by us equally. We hope to stimulate a good conversation on site, but also to generate papers that will be gathered in a future book that could be used as a guideline for conducting research in this area. This is an older project of mine that I started about 3 or 4 years ago when QR codes were just emerging. They weren't as well known, but the demo book that I'm the most proud of is Around the World in 80 Days. You probably all remember it from your youth, right? It's the Jules Verne classic about Mr. Phileas Fogg, who makes a bet that he would be able to go around the world in 80 days, around the 1860s or so. And what I did with this book was to embed maps embed maps and 2D codes to those maps, such that if you scan the 2D code, you can see the Google map of that area, and you can zoom in and out and also put some markers there. And finally, at each chapter, you have 2D codes that allow you to download the audio version of the chapter, such that if you don't want to read anymore, or you can't read anymore, if you get if you have to get in the car or hit the gym, you can download the chapter on your phone and listen to it while you exercise or drive.
Chapter 11 of Around the World in 80 Days.
In alumni news, Jason Miles is pursuing his master's degree at Columbia and was just elected class president. What was your platform, Jason? The Lamb School, especially Professor Jane Natt, is very proud of you. Kate Brandon, a 2003 graduate of our MA program, wrote to let us know that she achieved her PhD in theater from Wayne State University and is an associate professor at Biola University in California. Thanks for checking in, Kate, and congratulations to both Jason and Kate. Recently, I had the pleasure of meeting and talking with Jen and Evan Glazer. Jen is a 1998 alum of the Lamb School and was on campus to present to a class of students as a CLA influential. Jen is a consultant and senior manager for Grant Thornton. Her experience is in organizational analysis, performance management, and acquisition. Her primary client is the Federal Aviation Administration. Thanks, Jen, for visiting campus and sharing your career development with our students. In news about our undergraduate students, the College of Liberal Arts held Roadmap to the Real World, which featured alumni networking with students. It was another great opportunity to learn and ask questions about what alumni are doing and how they achieve their success. Last Wednesday, I volunteered on behalf of the Lamb School and the College of Liberal Arts at Rally for Pete, Purdue's telephone fundraising effort with a goal to raise $100,000 in 1 week. I was there to talk with potential donors, but also talked with student callers and listened in on their conversation with donors. It was exciting as they rallied and raised about 10% of the overall goal in the short time I was there. Speaking of achieving goals, we exceeded my challenge of 1,000 likes on the Lamb School Facebook page. Erin, our social media maven, says we now have 1,022 likes. Kudos to the Lamb School. If you want to share your achievements or other news with us, send your noticings for future editions to mmatson@purdue.edu and stay in touch via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel. Talk with you next time when we'll feature CLA Honors and Lamb School student in mass communication, Jessica Officer, and her quest to become 2014 Miss Indiana USA. Until then, take special care.